While financial abundance is a goal, I believe, for very many of us, it's not always about the money. It's about happiness. It's about feeling fulfilled. It's about experiencing joy, having moments of peace, knowing that you're living your purpose, you're fulfilling your soul contract, whatever version of that resonates with you. There is room for you to do whatever it is that sets your heart on fire. You're not here just to survive. You're not here just to go to work, pay bills, retire, and die. That's not why you came here. You can break out of that struggle cycle. I know this oversimplifies it, but at the bottom of it all, it starts with a decision. This is the Energy Within podcast, all about accessing, nurturing, and building your energy and confidence so that you can get unstuck and design your life the way you want. My name is Carrie Jokala. I am your host. I am a Reiki master, a fitness instructor, a wife, a mom to 2 little boys, and this is episode 110. And I'm sure you can hear my voice is not 100% back. So hopefully you read the description in last week's podcast in the show notes for the reason why I gave you a throwback episode. I tried to choose one that seemed relevant, especially since I've been doing a lot more talking again about intuition and trusting yourself. I felt like the one that I chose was a good one to listen to again. And perhaps you're a newer listener to the podcast and you hadn't heard that one before, so it prompted you to listen to it. So about 2 weeks ago, I lost my voice, not for any fun, amazing reason, but it just decided to go. And no, I haven't really done a lot of exploring on my throat chakra. I have some ideas, but I do not know the specific reason why. And the last couple of times that I ever lost my voice, it's super rare for me to lose my voice, but the last couple of times there were reasons. And one of them was because I had been sick and we still had a gig with my band and I made it through the gig. And then as soon as it was done, my voice went like, I'm out. Literally, I'm out. And then it was gone for, I think, 2 or 3 weeks. I actually even went to see an ENT just to make sure everything was okay. And everything was. It just apparently had gotten very strained. And the only other time I can really recall after that was when I was briefly a magician's assistant and we were practicing for a big Halloween show, and I was the one who was going to get buzzsawed in half. And I had to scream as soon as the buzzsaw, quote unquote, touched me. And I practiced my full scream during every rehearsal, which I probably shouldn't have done. And in the middle of both performance weekends, my voice started to go. I screamed a little too well. But this last time, I have no clue. I don't know what sparked it and why it stayed away for so long. I even was scheduled to be a guest on about 4 or 5, technically 5 different podcasts. And I managed to, on the first day that I woke up and my voice was mostly gone, I was going to cancel the first one, but tried to do everything I could to bring my voice back as best as I could before the first one. And the host no-showed me, and I haven't heard from her since, so I'm not really sure what the deal was there. I made it through the second one, and then the next one, I went to cancel and already saw when I went in to send her the email that she had canceled on me already because she is indefinitely putting her podcast interviews on hold. So that one went kaput. So that was fine. Then I was supposed to interview someone for my podcast and still didn't have a voice. So I had to cancel. And then we rescheduled the next one I was supposed to have. So that's coming later in November. And finally today, I made it to the other one I was supposed to guest on. So the one that I had to cancel, who was going to be on my show, we're doing a podcast swap. Her name is Logan. And I highly encourage you to find her on Instagram. She is known as the Womb Maven, and I'll put a link for that in the show notes. And today I managed to have my voice back enough that we were able to do the interview that I'm going to be the guest for her show, which I think worked out perfectly because it was such a fun conversation. And my episode is going to be released on her show on 11/11. I mean, come on. There is just so much in alignment, so much lining up lately for me, and it's just so cool. And I want to see that happen for everybody. So that's what I want to help facilitate. And a quick little note. So obviously, if you're still listening, you must not mind the sound of my voice right now. But if for any reason you're still listening and you're not sure if you're going to continue because of my voice, let me just apologize and hope that you can look past that if it is seeming a little scratchy. But I've been told by a couple people that, I've got my sexy Phoebe from Friends voice going on right now. So anyway, what I wanted to do was continue, even though you haven't heard the conversation yet, continue a thought from the interview I did today for the Maven Chats podcast we talked a little bit about how there is so much room for everybody to do what it is they want to do. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm making a ton of money with what I'm doing right now. I am not a millionaire yet. Emphasis on the yet, because I am anticipating that one day. But regardless, the main point, while financial abundance is a goal, I believe, for very many of us, it's not always about the money. It's about happiness. It's about feeling fulfilled. It's about experiencing joy, having moments of peace, knowing that you're living your purpose, you're fulfilling your soul contract, whatever version of that resonates with you. There is room for you to do whatever it is that sets your heart on fire. And if you saw one of my more recent Instagram posts, I talked a little bit about that. So there's that idea that you may have heard where people might have told you, well, you're not supposed to like your job, or encouraging you to follow the practical path. I don't for one second regret at all having gone to college for writing and theater. I still intend to write some fiction that I intend to get published. I don't know when that's going to happen, but I know that it will. And obviously, I feel like I still put my writing skills to great use when it's come to either doing blogs or social media posts that are like little mini blogs. And I've definitely put my theater skills to use when it's come to anything that I've done with being in front of people, whether it's been teaching group exercise classes or singing on stage, or even doing the podcast, doing live videos. My skills that I've learned have all been put to use. And I think had I chosen something that would be more practical, where maybe there would have been a tangible job for me to go and apply for after college, I feel like I would probably have wound up massively unhappy and feeling even more lost than I think I've ever felt in my life, because I don't think I would have been fulfilled. I still think I would have been looking for a side hustle, for something else, a different way to make money, something else to do that made me happy at the same time while also helping other people. So you may have heard me say, I forgot to say it in this intro, but I've recently started adding in the intro that I am the bridge between your reality and your spirituality, because I do believe that there is a time and a place and good reason to use logic to figure out how to move ahead, to make your important life decisions. But there's also the spiritual side of us, the energetic side of us, the part of us that wants to feel that joy, to fulfill our purpose, to create and experience who we are and who we want to be. And I think there needs to be a healthy balance between the two. If you go at things from only the logical side or only the spiritual side, you're not acknowledging the other very real part of you. There's nothing wrong with being human. And it's important that we also acknowledge our soul and what our soul wants, because when you feel those nudges, you feel that fire, if you feel the opposite, if you feel lost, like you're missing something, like you know that you're made for more, but you can't figure out what it is, or you can't seem to make it happen. On either side of it, that's your soul talking to you, trying to get through the logical side of you and trying to make that connection. Like, we do need to be practical. We do need to make money to get through and survive in this world, but we're here to do more than just survive. That's not what we were created for. And there are too many of us who are living constantly in survival mode. And I'm not here to talk about placing blame or outside reasons for that. There are many factors that can go into that, but I also believe that we can break free of that. That once you realize and you accept that we are made for more, every single one of us, you are made for more. You're not here just to survive. You're not here just to go to work, pay bills, retire, and die. That's not why you came here. You can break out of that struggle cycle. And I know it's not simple. I'm still not exactly where I want to be, but I have more belief than I ever have that I can get to where I want to be. Part of it is about taking responsibility for not just why you are where you are, but also owning your responsibility and your power to change where you are, despite what's going on around you, despite what other people might be saying, despite what your fears and anxieties might be. I know this oversimplifies it, but at the bottom of it all, it starts with a decision. There's someone that I follow on Instagram. This was specifically in regards to asthma, and I related to this because I have asthma, but I think it also translates into every other aspect of life, that this person pretty much weaned himself off of his asthma medications. He was on a lot of stuff, including having a nebulizer, which I do also have. I don't use it often. In fact, I'm not exactly sure the last time I used it. It's probably been at least a couple years. But even then, still not often, but I ended up hospitalized a couple times because of my asthma. And because of that, my doctor prescribed me a nebulizer to have at home just in case. And it has come in handy a couple of times. But what he said was that one day he just decided he had had enough. And not that things just magically changed from that point on, but he found tools and resources, things like breath work and a whole list of things. I took a screenshot, but I don't have it up right now. But a whole list of things for him to do other than medication. And I'm not knocking medication. I still have my inhaler. I still use my inhaler. I use it more often than I probably should. But I also believe that a lot of the reasons why I reach for it, even though I might legitimately be feeling some tightness in my chest, I feel like a lot of it has become psychological, because I did not used to use my inhaler as often as I have been for a long time. But I think there's power in that decision, that one day you just decide you've had enough. And my soul sister, Jess, who you heard on the podcast before, she just released an episode on her podcast about something one of her mentors said, that you're going to get sick enough of your own bullshit, basically, to want to change. So when you reach that point, enough is enough, and you finally make a change. And I think that can definitely go beyond asthma. What in your life are you sick of? Are you sick enough of it that you're ready and willing to take some steps to make a change? And it doesn't need to be a grandiose thing. It doesn't need to be something that you do overnight. But what one little thing, what one little action step can you do? What step can you take right now or by tomorrow even? But whatever it is that you want to do, It doesn't have to become your career, your full-time job. If it's something that you are happier keeping as a side hustle, a hobby, it can be whatever you want it to be. Don't let anyone tell you that you have to make it a full-time job if you don't want to. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't make it a full-time job if you do want to. You decide. I know there's a lot of you out there who struggle with this idea of trusting your intuition, of following your own path. And it's taken me a long time to get here, and I still don't have it perfect. But I feel like I have enough experience now to tell you how good it feels to finally be in that space where I feel like I'm getting the hang of trusting myself, where I'm finally getting fully onto the path that was meant for me, that I'm doing the things that I'm meant to do. I'm helping people in the way that I was meant to. And there is room for you to do the same. So the way that I can help you with that is through a Reiki session, which includes a card pull, or if you just want to start with a card pull, you have those options. So I'll have links for all of those in the show notes. With the Reiki, what we can do is go in and find out where your blockages are, what chakras they relate to. We can talk about how that's manifesting in your life, whether it's physically, emotionally, spiritually. We can start to tie it all together to put the puzzle pieces together. And then the card pulls just add an extra level of clarity. So whatever it is that I'm telling you that I'm sensing, the cards are going to help reinforce that idea. If you do just the cards on their own, I can do just a general pull for you, but I do recommend, especially since I do the majority of them by email, and I'll explain that in a second, it's helpful if you can give me a topic. So how the card pulls work is the 3 card, the 8 card, and you can do the newest one, which is my Angel Tarot card, the Celtic Cross spread. You can do that one by email, but I'll tell you a little bit more about that one in a second. But the ones by email, make sure that when you go in, if you choose those, that you go in and you look for the confirm your subscription email. So that might go to your spam folder, it might go to your promotions folder. So just make sure you watch for that and you open it and you confirm your subscription, because that will trigger the email that asks you for your topic. So you can then reply to that. You can tell me your topic. You can tell me as much or as little as you want. But if I at least have a broad topic that can help me with tuning in and tying the messages from the cards together a little bit easier. With the Angel Tarot card spread, you'll see, and this might seem a little backwards, but I'll explain it. And it's explained on there too, but I'll explain it here. You have the option to do it by email, which is perfectly fine. But I added an option specifically just for that one right now to do it over Zoom. And you'll see that the option to do it by email is slightly more expensive. I charge a little bit more than the in-person one. And that might seem a little backwards, but the reasoning is it actually takes a lot longer. This is a very big spread. It takes a lot longer to type everything up and tie it all together in an email than it does to do it face to face. So the 3 card spread tells you 1 card for the past, 1 for the present, 1 for the future. The 8 card spread gives you 4 cards that tell you where you are, 3 cards that tell you where you're headed, and 1 to possibly 2 cards if I need a clarifier. So then it becomes a 9 card spread. But that is your outcome if you stay on that current path. And you always have free will. So anything that comes up in a Reiki session, in a card pull, you have full ability to say, no, I reject that. I do not want that. And you make a change. That's all there is to it. But the specific, I might use my Angel Tarot cards for that spread. But if you specifically want the Celtic Cross spread with the Angel Tarot cards, there are 10 cards, and it is very, very much more in-depth than the other ones, because whereas the 3 card is very simple, 1, 2, 3, the 8 to 9 card, there are multiple cards that mean the same thing, and I just need to tie them all together. In this 10 card spread, each card is a completely separate message. So there's the situation, there's the block for the situation, the basis, the past, the present, the near future, your power in the situation, the effect of other people, your hopes or fears, and then the outcome. So each card represents something else. But so far in that spread, what's been, for lack of a better word, kind of spooky is with each different topic that I've done for people so far, cards come up within the spread, within that one topic, that repeat a lot of the same words or the same messages. And the thing is, like, it'll be one completely separate word or message for, say, a love reading, and then a completely different word or message for a financial or a money situation reading. But within the reading, it's relating. So there's 78 cards. So the odds of you getting that same message just randomly, they're big odds. But when I'm doing my best to tune in, I'm clearing the deck, I'm asking what you need to know for your best and highest good, the right cards are going to come through. So I highly encourage definitely a Reiki session to help you break through the blocks. The card session, the card pulls will help you tangibly see or know what the blocks are that you need to face up to. So you'll find the links again for those in the show notes. So if you have any questions or you have any issues at all with finding those emails, please let me know. Reach out to me on Instagram or Facebook, send me a DM. If you're not already a part of the Energy Within Facebook group, please hop in there. I've been in there, but I haven't been doing group Reiki or card pulls very often lately just because there's been a lot going on. But I'm hoping to get back into that. But there are still past videos pinned in the announcements if you want to check out a group Reiki session, which I come in and do once in a while in that group. So time is not linear, so you can still receive the energy. I've gotten messages from people who have watched the replay and still had amazing results and effects afterwards. So go ahead and hop in the group, check those out. Thank you for sticking with me and my voice through this episode. If you enjoyed this episode, if anything resonated with you or stuck out to you, please share it. Take a screenshot, do a screen flow, post it to your social media, tag me, and let me know what stuck out for you. Thank you so much, as always, for being here, and I'll see you next time.